Yo, what's up everybody? I am back. I don't want to waste too much of your time, so let's get started. Freminet is the newest 4-star character that we've gotten for Fontaine. He's a physical cryo DPS. And the only one that basically is the same is Eula. He doesn't have much competition, I'll tell you that. Let's get started with the details first. Now, the stats that I do recommend you go ahead and focus is going to be energy recharge, 160 at most. If you can get that as high as you can. His burst doesn't cost that much, as it only costs 60. Now, Freminet mains, you have an up on the Eula mains because your burst costs less than Eula mains. Eula mains, yours cost 80. I feel so sad for you guys. The next stats that I do recommend you focus is crit rate and crit damage, and go ahead and focus on your attack. Next up is your weapons. I am using Serpent Spine. I use Serpent Spine because I'm using a Zhongli in most of these teams. That's why I use a Serpent Spine. Serpent Spine's still a really good weapon. It's still a top tier weapon. Let me tell you some other weapons that you can go ahead and use. You can use Skyward Pride, Son of Broken Pines, Wolf's Gravestone, and Tidal Shadow. I'm gonna be completely real. A lot of these weapons are 5-star. And if you have any 5-star weapon, they're immediately better than a lot of these other weapons. So use those. This character is very, very Eula-ish. So let's pay to win with this character. Next up is your artifacts. Now, there's 2 builds you can make with Freminet. There's the cryo DPS one and the physical DPS one. I'm going to talk about the physical first, and then we'll get onto the cryo next. For the physical, you are just using a 4-piece Pale of Flame. That's it. You don't want to use anything else because it's kind of just like literally his niche. So just use 4-piece Pale of Flame. For the cryo DPS one, you can use a 4-piece Blizzard Strayer set. Your main stats are going to be focused on sands, attack percentage, physical damage for your goblet, for your circlet, crit rate, and crit damage. Constellations. There's actually a few that I can talk about. C1 is going to be increasing your crit rate. So there you go. Free crit rate for literally just pressing Q. For C4, he will get an attack percentage buff just for triggering a element. So be it Frozen, Shatter, or Super Conduct. Either one of those, and you'll get a 9% attack buff. And it's 2 stacks. I'm not gonna do the math. You can do the math yourself. And last step is gonna be a C6. If he triggers Frozen, Shatter, or Super Conduct, he will increase his crit damage by 12% for a max of 3 stacks. Holy shit, man. Why does he need this? Now for your talents, you're gonna be focused on 2 things. You're gonna be focused on your skill and your normal attack. I'm gonna be real about your burst. This shit does nothing to improve your damage. It only improves, let me just say, the skill damage where he just does a burst of AoE. And that's not what we're trying to do. So you just want to level up these 2 and you'll be fine. For his first passive talent, he will have lower cooldown if he uses his E during his burst. And you can spam that shit. It's really funny when it happens. And his last passive talent, if he triggers Shatter, he will do an increased 40% damage. And his last passive talent, if you're underwater, you will not use as much energy underwater. Yeah. It's not the best talent ever. Now for the fun part, team compositions. I only have 2 for you today, so it's gonna be pretty short. All right, first up, we got a Freminet physical DPS team. This is including Freminet, Raiden Shogun, Mika, and Zhongli. Now, you might be asking, why is Raiden Shogun on this team? Because you're gonna need ER, and she's gonna be able to give it to you. Raiden Shogun is literally just a battery for Freminet. That's why you use her here. Mika is able to give Freminet a physical DPS buff, and Zhongli shreds. So, there you go. This is why this team is actually pretty good. This team is getting a 9 out of 10. All right, last up, we got a Freminet cryo DPS team. Chana is able to give Freminet a cryo DPS buff, Kokomi is able to freeze, and Kazo is able to swirl. Now, if you have Kazo's weapon, oh, it gets really fun. Let me just tell you that. It gets real fun. Kokomi able to run TDS, give you an attack buff, and Shinha able to give you that cryo DPS buff. This team is getting a 8 out of 10. And that's been my Freminet guide. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.